Good evening. Hello, and very warm welcome to you. It's the Professor here, and another evening of Sunday night in the shadows. So, as usual, it's my favorite part. We're going to head over to the comments and see what's been happening this week. Let's have a look. And here we are. So thank you everyone for putting the comments in. Do appreciate that. Do really appreciate it. So let's quickly check the comments from this week. When is Crimson Dawn Season 5 coming out? Or when is Crimson Dawn Season 5? Good question. Very good question. I have no idea. But thank you for the comment, Mike and John are hyped up about this. Yes, I have a tale to tell you about this. Something happened here, so that's why I didn't come out this week. Thank you for that comment. Yes, Jeff Warren, help me, I chair from beginning to end. Yes, I did like this one. This was good. I focused more on the story rather than any graphics or animation for this one. Hope it sort of came through as that. Very well done, Shelley. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Excellent story from Kathy. Thank you. Great stuff. Watching there. Please remind me the AI video generator you use. No problem. I use Luna. Now, I used to use a different one, but now I use Luna something. Luna. Oh my goodness, I can't remember what it's called. But it's Luna Dream Maker. That's the one I'm using at the moment. I don't know if I'll keep using it. I'm not sure. I try to try different ones, and at the minute I'm using this one, so that's quite interesting. Awesome. Lauren's on. Thank you. It's the fog one. Happy Thanksgiving. And to you, my friend, Harvey. I hate the fog. Me too. That's why it's just so spooky. It's just so spooky. Amazing story. The Pale Whisperer. I thought that was a great story. Thank you so much. Walker. It would be cool to see you do lives in character, maybe a 13th century monk robe. Ah, your accent and voice would be excellent for some type of long dead macabre storyteller. You've got prime time potential in your story. Oh, thank you so much, my friend. Priest. I could get a priest outfit. Maybe wear that. I appreciate that comment. Thank you so much. My nemesis again, Richard. Thank you, my friend. Another Stephen. Awesome story. You choose to be a selfish king. What's this? So, which would you choose, to be a selfish king, wanting complete power, or Dimitri with power of the wolf with a massive pack at your back? It needs to be made in so it's like a movie of that. Yeah. I always try to portray the werewolf more as like a curse than a gift. Apart from when we got the Alpha and Winter, of course, is a little bit different, but all of them are like a curse. I think it's a curse. I'm a big fan of the original Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr., and I like that concept. I do like that. Good morning, and good morning to you, Hope Collins. Oh, 2 months ago. We're going back quite a bit now. Okay, good. I think we've caught up already. Good. Thank you for being with me. I do like looking through the comments of people saying, who we got on today? Shelley. Hope you're feeling much better, Shelley. John's on. Good evening. Slow and steady. Nice. It's cool your son joined in last time. Yeah, it's nice to see new people on here. And as I say, good evening. Warm welcome to everybody. Daisy, good evening to you. It's evening where I am, so I hope if if it's afternoon or something over where you are. Please bear in mind I am in the UK, but a very good evening and welcome and thank you for joining me. So, like I said, I did have a video planned. I was going to do part two of Portals, which I created. I did the audio, did it. I listened to it and I didn't like it. I didn't feel that it fit the narrative of where I wanted to go with it. So I scrapped it completely. The whole thing was narrated, done, but I just listened to it back and it didn't work for me. So I scrapped the whole thing and rewrote the entire part two, which I literally just finished narrating today. So we are a little bit behind with Pause 2. I do apologize, but I don't want to put something out that I feel doesn't fit. For me, it didn't feel right. And I'd rather go without putting a video out than put the wrong narrative out. But I've good news. I have just completed recording it and it's done. I just got to edit it. So I'll be editing it during the week, but I've listened to it back and yes, it's where I wanted it to go. So if you were wondering where did Portals Part 2 go and who was the mysterious man, it's coming. Like I said, I did it. It didn't feel right. I wasn't happy with the end result. I'm not putting out a story specifically with my favorite character in it. So I'm not putting my favorite character out there and it doesn't feel right to me. So I did scrap it and redid the whole thing with a new concept and idea, which I don't know if you've ever done that. You sort of know what you want, you put it down, but it just didn't come out right. It just didn't come out exactly as I wanted it. And so that for me, that wasn't good enough. So I scrapped it and redid the whole thing. So if you were wondering, I'm sure he said he was going to put Portals Part 2 out this week. I do apologize, but I had to redo it. I wasn't happy. And there we are. And but it's done. I just need to edit it. I'm going to edit it during the week and give me a few days. That will be out for you. But it's worth it. I promise you. It's going to leave you on the edge of your seat. Specifically, if you are a Crimson Dawn character fan, if you like the characters from Crimson Dawn, it's going to leave you on your seat. And speaking of that, someone said, where's Crimson Dawn Part 5? Is Crimson Dawn Part? Well, I should imagine if I put, there sort of is, because we got stories with Sorana and Elder and Winter. So this is like the continuation. So it could be. It could be. Maybe I'll stick them all together and do one big long version and say, hey, Crimson Dawn Part 5. But then we're leading up to something. I'm leading up to something, not just we're leading up to something bigger in the long run, and we'll see where that goes. But yes, so if you were wondering, that's the reason why, wasn't it? But I did get out the Silent Village, the one with the fog, and you have to listen to this one. It's like, this was really good. I was inspired by some old 1960s and 70s horror novels for this one. And I feel it came out really well. Story. I emphasized on the story rather than trying to get graphics. You'll see that sometimes. It's like we can quickly edit it with nice images, or take a long time to edit with some animations and perfect images. It takes so much longer. But I really want to emphasize on the story, and I feel that worked really well. So hopefully you enjoyed that, Silent Village. And yeah, that was a great story. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that story. I hope you did. I do hope so. So where we stand now? Obviously, we've got part 2 coming for Pause next week. It's done. I like it, so we're happy with that. Move forward. Just got to edit it. That's coming out. Of course, I'm going to get another story out. And thank you. Shelley watched it. She enjoyed it, I'm sure. That was great. It was a good. I tried to simulate an older horror story. and I feel it worked really well. I really liked it. It was the sort of thing that I would watch or listen to, so I like that. I listened to it back and I was really happy with it. So yeah, The Fog. Yeah, I call it The Silent Village. The Fog is, yeah, there is a movie of The Fog, isn't there, John Carpenter already, so I didn't want to steal anything. So we call it The Silent Village. They used the fog. Yeah, you have to watch it. It was good. And let's have a look, see where we are with the channel at the minute. The losing memory part of The Fog, spooky, exactly. This was great. So I mean, obviously, what's happened? So where are we? I'm obviously not putting out as much content as usual because I'm just so busy. And then I had one that went wrong, so I do apologize for that. I'm not putting out as much content, just so, like I keep saying, probably until February next year. I'm just so stacked with work that it's consuming a lot of my time, and I need some downtime. And when I have downtime, I generally just come and write and create. But I'm not getting as much downtime at the moment as I would like. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where work really does take your time. And I mean, I enjoy my work anyway, so I really do enjoy what I do. So I work, like, obviously helping people with cognitive abilities and things like this. So I really enjoy this work that I do, and it's just taking so much time at the minute. Taking so much time, but until February, I think February should be. I think it's February. We should be back in time. It's only a couple of months. What are we now? 1st of December. We got Christmas. I think Christmas week I'll come on with my Santa hat. Someone said come on in a monk's robe. I think I'll come on with the Santa hat. Maybe a beard. Maybe I'll grow a beard for Christmas. That would be great. Spooky Santa. So what's the spooky house? Let's think about that. Spooky Santa. So we don't have many people on today on a Sunday. What? For me, it stands out straight away, but I'm not going to mention it. Are there any horror movies if you're watching the live, let me know, or if you watch the replay, just put it in there, that you feel represent Christmas. I'm a big horror fan, huge horror fan. When Christmas came along many years ago, we used to get what we call the Radio Times, and it used to list the whole month of what's going to be on the television. And I used to go through looking for all the horror movies and highlight, like, this is going to be this day, so I'd catch them and watch them. And Tubby's on. Good evening, Professor. How are you? Well, yeah, long time no see. I'm gonna get Tubby to do a live. We said we'll get her to do a live one day. Anyway, when I was younger, I used to get the magazine and go through that and highlight all the horror movies. So Christmas for me has always been, when are the horror movies on? Whereas everyone's probably looking for Christmas movies, I used to look for the horror movies. This back in the day, when we had like 4 channels. Can we believe that? What we have today is unlimited channels. But there was 4 channels, and had to search through and see when the horror movies were on to catch them. Then obviously video recorders come, so you could put the video recorder and you could set it. You could set it to record, so you don't have to sit up and watch it. Now that was handy, and so I'd be looking through the Radio Times to check when they on set the video recorder, and sometimes it didn't work, sometimes it did. These were great times. But yeah, for me, Christmas was always about, the biggest one for me when it's Christmas is absolutely nothing to do with Christmas. So if we're thinking about movies that represent horror and Christmas, I can think of a good few, but there's one in particular, really, whenever Christmas comes, it always goes to my. So I've actually been one of my recommendations, and that is Mystery of the Wax Museum. Is because it's a childhood experience of mine. So I remember vividly, Dad used to put the turkey and cook the turkey overnight. Now, if we do that anymore, but that's what they used to do, put the turkey in the oven and slow cook it overnight. So the house smelled like cooking turkey all night. And I was just, oh my God, it smells so good. And so I remember sitting watching Mystery of the Wax Museum on Christmas Eve. It was on like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And just the smell of turkey throughout the house. I'm just drooling at the smell of this turkey. And so forever now, when I smell turkey, whenever I smell turkey, that movie instantly comes to Mystery of the Wax Museum. So yeah, Jim, good evening, Jim. My mum used to do the same thing. Yeah. I don't think we do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. We just get in, chuck it in the oven, cook it. But yes, that's so. Like I say, whenever I smell turkey, I have that childhood experience now. Just my brain goes back and thinks of that time and remembers Mystery of the Wax Museum, smell of turkey. An interesting idea. So yeah, so I just want to get, what do you think is a horror movie that represents Christmas? Well, what's your childhood experience? What's your experience that is nostalgic and comes back when Christmas comes? Maybe it's a smell, maybe it's, I don't know, a noise, a song. The other great one for me, the greatest one is it Tales from the Crypt? And it have the one with Joan Collins and Santa, the Mad Santa. This one is amazing. So good. This one I have to watch every Christmas. So Tales from the Crypt. And there's an episode with Joan Collins and she like murders her husband on Christmas Eve. And there's a lunatic dressed as Santa going around, and he comes to the house, and in the end the child lets Santa in. It was actually redone as well. Another film did this, but the one with Joan Collins, that was a great one. That's a really good one because it's Tales from the Crypt, it's an Amicus anthology of horror, and Tales from the Crypt. For me, I'm putting out there Mystery of the Wax Museum and Tales from the Crypt. I'm not sure what it's called, but the episode with Santa and Joan Collins. And there we go. They're my two. Shelley says Jack Frost. Nice. So we've got one person. We don't have many people on. So if you're on here watching, I can see the numbers going up and down. So we're just saying, what movie do you go to or have nostalgia for Christmas? Watch the Home Alone movies, Fawlty Towers, but not particularly scary. Home Alone. Oh, I think I always watch Home Alone as well. Fawlty Towers, my God, it's so amazing. John Cleese was amazing. And Kathy is on. Good evening, Kathy. Welcome. Yeah, I think everyone watched Home Alone because it's always on the TV. Fawlty Towers is amazing. I do love Fawlty Towers. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see as well, those that watch the replay of this recording, just don't forget, let me know in the chat. Put it in the chat. What movies does Christmas represent for you? Horror movies is great. So let's go there. If something else, no problem. Like I say, for me, Mystery of the Wax Museum from a nostalgic point of view, and Tales from the Crypt, the Joan Collins one with Santa. And there is another one. The one that I'm going to get the name of that up. Tales from the Crypt film. Did I give the Vault of Horror? Taken from Vault of Horror. Tales from the Crypt. And All Through the House. That's what the episode is called, and All Through the House. And there is another one that was made. King Kong. Nice. 2015. That's around Santa Slayer. Oh, they redid it in 2015 as well. So they've made it 3 times. Okay. King Kong. I have a story about King Kong. Dracula. Excellent. These are actually quite nostalgic for me as well. Remember, we had cine projectors. It's Super 8mm cine projectors. And I actually had Dracula and the Blob were my first movies. The first movies I ever got. And I used to watch them over and over and over. So they're quite Christmassy for me. But then I also got King Kong as well. So these are great Christmas times for me. Christopher Lee as Dracula. The nice. The one I had was the Bela Lugosi one. I like, obviously, big fan of Christopher Lee and Hammer horrors. Amazing genre. You watch them now and they don't seem bad at all, but in the day you got to think they're coming from the black and white films and moving to Hammer horror now. And in the day, suddenly you could see the red blood. I thought, oh my God, it's so scary. Yeah, what a time. What a time. It was like early 50s, wasn't it? Amazing time. Not that I was born in the early 50s, but yeah. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Classic, amazing. I spoke about this last week, Abbott and Costello. Loved them. Yes, and Star Wars. He was Count Dooku in Star Wars as well. So there's Saruman in Lord of the Rings, but it was also Count Dooku. And in Star Wars, he still did his own sword fighting, which is amazing. Such a legend. Big fan. Then you get the crossover. If you ever look in and you see a movie with Christopher Lee in it, it's boom. You say, yes, this is going to be a great movie. And then you see another actor in there, Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in the same movie, boom. It's high level. It's just, you must watch it. Yeah, interesting. Yes, he did his Count Dooku. He did his own sword fighting. He spoke about it. So good, so amazing. Incredible. I have this. So I have all of the Hammer horror I have from a company called Anchor Bay on DVD, not Blu-ray. I have some on Blu-ray, predominantly DVD. And in when they did the series, the Anchor Bay, they got the movie, so they got the best print of the Hammer horror movies, and then they always put an extra disc with extras in it. And so there's quite a lot, and there's one with the Christopher Lee interviews, and that's a really good one. Reminds me of the train movie Horror Express with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Yes, definitely. Funny enough, I was watching, there's a new show. I'm not sure where I was watching it. A Creep Show. There's a new Creep Show episodes, and one of them was on Horror Express. This person made this thing look like a sunbed, but you lay in it, and then you get transported into the movie. And the movie he kept going to was Horror Express. This was amazing. Lee still out. 2015. I'll say 2015. Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was actually, it was a bit cheesy, but the idea that we saw someone going back to that movie, one of these great movies of Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, was so amazing. Was so good to see a new angle. And Creep Show, Horror Express. Night of the Living Late Show. That's what it's called. Creep Show, Night of the Living Late Show. And it was, this guy made this thing. And when he went, he could be transported into any movie, but he kept going to Horror Express all the time. This was amazing. And it's a creep show, of course, someone dies. But it was really good just to see that. It was a great idea. I was hooked. I watched the whole episode, so it must have been fairly good. It's nice to see new stuff and but incorporate some of the old stuff. That was a new idea, a good concept. Enjoyed it. Which one as well? The other one. There's another one I was watching, like with zombies and stuff, which looked good. I didn't watch the whole episode. I was busy doing something. But that looked quite good. So I'm not sure where I watched it. It was on TV, ITV Plus or something, or ITVX. Yeah. Yes, sadly, Christopher Lee's not with us anymore. Twilight Zone, the movie, yes. I remember this when it came out. Must admit, I do prefer the older Twilight Zones, the black and white ones. The new ones are okay, but I prefer the original ones. Like I said last week, and you go to watch a movie and they colorized it, and you know this old black now colorized it, just not the same. Just it's not the same for me. I just can't sit and watch it. I just wouldn't watch it. Just would not watch it. But I definitely watch the old black and white ones for sure. Absolutely. Rod Serling were the best. Absolutely. And I like the when I went to Disney World, they had the Tower of Terror ride, and you go in and it's the Twilight Zone episode, but you're in it. That was good. That was a good one. I don't know if anyone's ever done that. And you go up on the drop, and it drops you down. That's a really good ride. Yeah, I like the ride because it's not just a ride. Even as you're queuing up, there's all bits to look at. And you go in the hotel, and there's a show, and you go on the ride, and it drives you around, and then it goes up, and then it drops. Yeah. I did it in the day, and I did it at nighttime as well. Nighttime was so good. So good. It was completely dark when you go up and down. Really good. Very good. Have that, and you get the little video. Have a little video of me on the ride. So good. I think that's what I like about those rides, and it's like a whole experience. It's so good. Which is why we have, like I mentioned before, we have the Universal Studios are opening May this next year, and they have a new park, and part of that park is Universal Dark Universe, which is all of the classic Universal monsters: Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Creature from Black Lagoon, The Mummy, Invisible Man, and they have two major rides there. They have a roller coaster, which is the Wolfman roller coaster, and then they have a sort of interactive ride, which I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it looks all that animatronic of the older monsters. Looks really good. So I'll be looking forward to trying that. I probably won't do it next year, maybe the year after. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe next year. We'll see. I should imagine though it opens in May. That would just be so busy. So busy. So, like I said when I first came on, we've had a few people join us. So I did promise you that I was going to get Portals Part 2 last week. And it didn't come out. And the reason it didn't come out was because I did do the narrative. I did do the narration. And I didn't like the way the story went. So I scrapped the whole thing and redid it. So if you were waiting, and there's a few different people come on, just to once more let you know that it is coming. It will be here next week. I've done the story. I've done the narration. I've just got to do the editing, which is the long bit, but the base is there. I've listened to it back, and I'm happy with the way it went. I wasn't happy with the way it went before. So it will be with you shortly, the next few days. And hopefully you enjoy. If you, like I said earlier, if you like the Crimson Dawn series and the characters, then this is going to be up your street for sure. And if anyone watched the first one, if you watch the first one that is called Portals on my channel, Portals Part 1, and in the end there was a mysterious character threatening someone which you didn't know who it was. And I wonder if everyone figured out who those characters were. Yes, the video. Do you think vampires are real? They're certainly real for me, because I create them in my stories all the time. And I was literally just talking about how I created a story, a video. I wrote it, I narrated it, and then I scrapped it. For me, the characters were not right. So the character was alive. Are they real? Yes. In my stories, of course they're real. See, it's interesting as well, isn't it? You go on this subject. Energy vampires. I totally believe that. Totally. And I know a few. I definitely know a few. Where was I saying? Yeah, it's interesting because we look back in history, and they have these stories of like werewolves and vampires and all these things from hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And how do they know these things? That's the thing. Where did it come from? Where did the ideas come from? How did they know these things? I watched this documentary, and they dug up these graves from like hundreds and hundreds of years back, and all of them had like stakes in the heart. How did they know that back then? How did they know that? Crazy. And there's this really interesting. I think it's like when Columbus explored. I think it was Columbus, and explored the land, and they did a drawing of people with dog heads, like werewolves. This was like so long ago. How do they know that? How did they know that? Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I think it's a fascinating subject. Truly, truly. I've been fascinated by it my whole life. Since I was a young boy, I've been absolutely addicted, I think is the word, to legends, horror movies, anything to do with vampires, werewolves, monsters, anything like that. I don't know why. Well, I do understand why. Winter went back in time tunnel. There we go. There's the answer. We have the answer. Now we know. Now we know. Me too. Yeah, so it's addicted to it, and it's obviously as a child, I felt safety somehow in these legends, in these stories, and that comforted me back then, and that creates a safe space, and you keep going back to them, so you become addicted to it. Yeah. To think that we had comfort in werewolves and vampires. Interesting. So interesting. This is what I do now, is I help people understand this type of things. Not vampires and werewolves, but working more like people with this confidence and self-esteem and things like that. So under learning this today helps me understand why I went through this. So interesting. So interesting. How work connects. So good. Yeah, I showed you the book. I had a replica of a book I had. I remember taking this out in my school. Yeah, so this is, for me, it was high school. So I would have been 12, maybe 13 at the time. Then, but I had one from my middle school as well. So I would have been 7, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. And I remember watching those movies and reading that book back then, and I have it up on my screen. Need an invisible. He's already there. We just can't see him. Need an Invisible Man character. He's just wandering around. We just don't know he's there. Do you love the Claude Rains Invisible Man? My goodness, it's short, but it's so good, so good. Such a great movie. And then you got Claude Rains in The Wolfman as well. So these are like the cream of the crop, the best of the best. So good. Freezing is off. Absolutely. They did that remake. I think they've done some remakes, but they did do that one with Kevin Bacon. Can't remember the name of the movie, but that was actually pretty good. That was actually a little bit dark in there as well. I enjoyed that one. I did enjoy that one. Can't remember what it's called. Invisible Man with Kevin Bacon. It's not called The Invisible Man. But that was actually a decent movie. Hollow Man. There you go. Hollow Man. That's it. Yeah, that's actually a decent movie. Enjoyed that one. It's not just, hey, I'm invisible. It was like he went dark, and I like that. I like that in a movie. You would, if you was invisible, it's gonna do something to your head. It's gonna do something. Monster Squad. Yes, this is great. Great movie. Great movie. There's so much. I was saying this every week, wasn't I? There is just so much, and there's so many good films. Like even now, I'm discovering movies now. That I haven't seen before, and I've been watching movies for nearly 50 years. So, an avid collector of film, and a complete addict of watching horror movies. And like I say, there's so much. I'm still discovering movies today. I said, only last year I found that 4 Skulls of Jonathan Drake, which I thought was, my goodness, how did I miss this? And some years back, I just maybe 4 or 5 years ago, discovered the movie Night of the Eagle. If anyone's seen that one, Night of the Eagle, and my goodness, how did I miss this one? Such a great movie, Night of the Eagle. It's got like curses, it's got witchcraft, giant eagles attacking people. So good. Scared, yes. You want to feel scared with a scary movie, yeah. Yeah, they've got to go dark. I think they need to go a little bit dark. Kevin Bacon was great. Good film. So it's a good movie. That's how I felt when I watched Mr. Sardonicus. How did I miss it? So good. Yeah, I know, absolutely. This is another one, a discovery. What a film. What a film. And you miss it, you don't know about it. And until you watch it. And then you research it and you find there's a massive following, a big cult following for those type of movies. But the thing is that there's so much that of course you're going to miss stuff because there's too much to grab, too much to get. You think you've seen the majority of them, and then a new one will just pop up. My goodness, how have I missed this movie? It's so great, so great. I mean, I'm always scanning. I mean, YouTube's okay, and you can find some great channels that have all these older movies in one place. And but a lot of them are missing because obviously copyright, you can't put certain movies on YouTube. But you can watch like trailers and stuff, and then go research and try and find the movie. I think I did that with 4 Skulls of Jonathan Drake. That's how I found that. Remember years ago I had this book. I showed you it as an image in there, and then I think I was doing some watching trailers and saw the image of I need to watch that. Great movie. 4 Skulls of Jonathan Drake. My goodness, if you haven't watched that, you have to go watch that. That's got another one. It's got everything in it. It's got like living undead. They don't eat people, but they can't be killed. It's just you only see one of them. And someone with a head transplant. My goodness, and like hundreds of years old. It's just got everything. It's got it all. How can you have a movie that has a head transplant, an unkillable undead creature with its mouth sewn shut, and it not be amazing? That's incredible. Oh, and the curse of the 4 skulls. It's curses, undead, head transplants. It's got everything. It's got everything. What a great movie. I've been watching random films this week, but I haven't found anything new this week. So I haven't found anything new this week. Just been watching random films. I always watch a film before I go to bed. So I'm always scanning to try and find something that I haven't found. And what did I watch? I watched Horrors of Spider Island, Beast from Haunted Cave, which I have seen before, and The Brain Eaters, which I have seen before. There's 1958, 1959, and 1960. There. Out of all of them, I think Brain Eaters is the best one. More of a sci-fi horror. Interesting concept. A little bit like it's classic movie, sci-fi. Fiend Without a Face. I'm sure most people will watch that. If you haven't, you need to go watch that like today. Brain Eaters is trying to do a similar thing. It's not as good, but it's still pretty good. A little bit different. But yeah, it's definitely the good old movies. Yeah, definitely. That's what I watch. If I'm going to watch them, there's this channel I found, and Cult Cinema Classics, and it just has all the old movies on. So pretty good, and it's on YouTube. So you just, I think about YouTube, just click it and watch it anywhere. It's great. Watch it on your phone, TV. Pretty good. The tablet, the computer. I see. I was kind of, I didn't watch. There was nothing really. I did watch a couple of movies that just didn't do anything for me. That's pretty much it. Oh, I don't know if anyone's seen this one. I have a good one to watch, and it's actually on Cult Cinema Classics as well. It's The Brain That Wouldn't Die, 1962. That's actually a decent one to watch. That's actually a fairly decent one to watch. It's good. And it's actually got, it's black and white, but it's got some, from an early day, it's got some blood in there as well. So, goodness. A strange creature. Head transplants. So that was, I did actually watch that this week. So I've seen it before. I've got it on DVD, but I watched it on YouTube because it's just there. The Brain That Wouldn't Die. If you're stuck for something this week, go watch that. It's fairly good. I'm flicking through my history on YouTube. My goodness, it's just all. Oh, I have another one. This is one. Okay. It's called I Bury the Living, 1958. So there's another really good one. I Bury the Living. It's not what it sounds like. It's a good twist on the movie. So if you like a little bit of horror, but a little bit of psychological horror and a little bit of a twist, I Bury the Living. Yes, I forgot about this movie. I actually forgot about this movie. I have on DVD. I forgot about it, and I was scrolling through Cult Cinema Classics, and I just found it. Thought, I haven't watched this for so long. I put that on. That was a really interesting movie. So give that a look. If you're looking for something to watch, put your feet up, put your big screen TV on, and watch that. My goodness, they're good. Nothing better. Nothing. I don't think there's anything better. Get the big screen on. Put the movie on. I was born in 1964. 1964. What was that movie I said was 1964? 1962. I Bury the Living was 1958. I'm 1968. I'm 1968. The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Was that the 1964? The Brain Wouldn't Die. 1962, The Brain Wouldn't Die. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, you've got it. It's on Cult Cinema Classics. So it's a YouTube channel that just puts decent quality as well. And they just put all of the old movies. There's a couple of others like that, but that's the main one I would normally go to. I think I've watched most of them on there now. That's the main one. And I Bury the Living, 1958. It's grew up with the old movies. Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Because we grew up with them, and we have them as nostalgia within ourselves, and we have times when we were watching them, probably the outside world and whatever was happening at the time didn't mean anything. because we was engrossed in our movies and we felt comfort in that. So now we look back at them, with that nostalgia. Elvira movies. I never watched Elvira. She was always on the cover of Fangoria and things like that. I never watched them. I watched her show. She had a show where she would do introduce the movies and watch the movies. I watched that. Never watched her in a movie. Oh, did anyone watch the Armchair Thriller Quiet as a Nun? It's quite long, but I don't know if anyone got to watch it. I actually watched it. I skipped a couple of bits of it, of course, but I did watch it through. Got to like that part which was like stuck in my head with the nun in the rocking chair. My goodness, that brought back some memories. I don't know if anyone had a chance to watch that. That was a decent little series. That was quite good. "1960" with Psycho is fantastic. Yes, I agree. Psycho was a closeted gay man, which really helped him play the double life. Yes. What was his name? What was the name of the actor? Psycho actor. Anthony Perkins, that was it. Do you like Boogie? Yes, I do like Anne Rice. I like the whole New Orleans idea. Yeah, Psycho, Anthony Perkins. And Janet Leigh. Psycho is another one that I used to have on the cine projector, a little 50mm one, and it was just the scene where he murders her in the shower. I had this on the 50mm Super 8mm cine projector. So I remember before video, before DVD, obviously we had the cine camera, and you could get this book. I wish I still kept it. I do wish I still kept it. And it had all of the movies you could get on the cine projector. And we had a shop in London. You had to go through, I can't remember exactly where it was. I went up there a few times. I think it was just past Soho. And they sold all the Super 8mm movies. And I used to go in there every week to save my money and go in there and buy movies for my cine projector. I got the Psycho one from there. That brought back a memory. So that was interesting. I had to look through this little book and see all the little images of the movies. And I want to see this one. I want to see this one. So of course, when it was available to get DVD, I was like, okay, I'm buying this. I'm buying this. She bought everything. They say a lot of vampires live in New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans. Never. I got off the airport. Is it Louis Armstrong Airport in New Orleans? I got off there, but I got someone picked me up and drove me straight away from there to Biloxi. So I never had a chance to stay at New Orleans. The next year, I had opportunity to go to New Orleans, visit some friends, and I couldn't make that year, so I missed out. So it's on my bucket list to try and get there. At some point, we'll get there. When I work, I have people all over the place, but specifically in the US, and I have to go visit quite a lot. So I do get to visit quite a few places. We stayed at the big. I can't think of the name of it. The big gambling place in Biloxi. There's another one in Las Vegas as well. The hotel. That's interesting. It's huge. Never seen anything as big. It's huge. It had like floors upon floors. One floor was like a stadium, and then another floor was a gambling place, and another floor was an arcade. Then it was a hotel. Then it was a nightclub, all in this one place. It's like, unbelievable. I can't believe it. Yeah, we stayed there. So yes, I have traveled through, but never. I've been to the French Quarter in Disney World. I don't think that counts, but I've been through there. Had a look around there. Went to one of their restaurants to try some of the food. I love reading the book even more. Shining, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, I didn't read the book. I listened to the book. I have it on audiobook and listened to that. Certainly amazing. So amazing. Because when you see it, you don't realize how complex the film is about what's actually going on. You just think it's like some crazy guy, but there's so much going on under the behind the scenes. It's crazy. And the book as well obviously have so much more than the film. Like in the book, you got in the garden, those things coming alive, like statues and stuff. If I remember rightly, I can't remember, was it the statue of a lion or something comes alive and chase them? Yeah, this is crazy, and it's not obviously not. I don't think that's in the movie. I'm not sure. Been a while since I've listened to it. I used to travel from my house to a place. It took about 3.5 hours journey there and 3.5 hours back. I used to go once or twice a week, every week, and so I used to put audiobook after audiobook after audiobook, and I got through lots of audiobooks. It's quite interesting. Now I just travel. I only have to go like half an hour, so I get half an hour of something. Generally work though, usually. Okay, good. So let's start wrapping this up, guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. Hopefully you got my recommendations down to watch a couple of movies as well. So for example, what did we have? We had The Brain That Wouldn't Die, and we had I Bury the Living. So a couple of movies, and they're free on YouTube. Go watch them. Down your recommendations. Thank you. Yeah, I sit and watch them. I think they're two great movies. If you haven't watched them, I think definitely worth watching. And give those a look. And yes, I will vigilantly work on part 2 of Portals, and hopefully it gets a better response than the first one. The first one really didn't do very well. I think I had like 300 or 400 people watch it. That was it, which is crazy. Do you think immortals are like vampires? Take care of them. Immortals and vampires? I suppose they are, aren't they? Vampire lives forever as immortal? Or do we say that immortal is something that cannot die and cannot be killed, whereas a vampire could be killed? So we could look at it from that point of view. They are immortal, but so they can be killed, which means they're not really immortal. They just live a long time. With something immortal, then an immortal would be God if they can't be killed. Yeah, I think it depends how you look at that, isn't it? Immortal means I cannot die, I cannot be killed, whereas a vampire can be killed. Technically, because the actual, they say an actual vampire is a spirit that inhabits a body, so it's not really the body, is it? So you may kill the body, but maybe the spirit of the vampire, it says an evil, like a demon spirit that possesses the person and turns them into a vampire. Where does that go? You know, maybe they are immortal in that sense, but you know, they can't kill the essence of the vampire, but it can destroy its host. Anyway, we could talk on these subjects all night. I really like Guild. Thank you so much, Carla. Appreciate that. And I have many more coming. And just like I keep saying, this year for me, I took on some projects for work, and they really are taking a lot of my time up. So I don't have much downtime, although we all need downtime because I need to, you know, let off some steam. And I like to let off steam by creating something. But I just haven't had the time to get as much out as I'd like recently. But the things look like they're going to be slowing down February time, which hopefully I can then start maybe getting 2 or 3 out a week, which would be great. Love your stories and your live streams. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate that. And everyone, thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. I do like talking horror movies, so I will always be here talking about horror movies and ideas. And thank you all for joining me. And I'll hopefully see you next week. And look out for those new videos coming out real soon. Take care, everyone. And I will see you very soon.